여러분, 오늘은 클레어와 에릭이 한국에서 미국 명문 사립학교를 다니는 영상을 담아보았습니다. 저는 홈스쿨 선생님입니다. 홈스쿨에 오신 것을 환영합니다. Good morning, Claire and Eric. Have a seat.
Good morning, teacher.
Guys, this is today's schedule. Study hard and have fun.
Thank you. Bible.
Wonderful friend. Stand. Jesus, the friend of the children is he. Oh, such a friend, true to the end. Better than even a brother could be. Oh, such a wonderful friend. And Jesus is that friend that can help you make those good choices today. Well, Obadiah delivers the message to Ahab. Ahab comes and meets with Elijah. Elijah says, King Ahab, we're going to go to a mount. What was the name of the mount that Elijah told King Ahab to meet him at? Caden?
Mount Carmel.
Yes, and at Mount Carmel, they were going to have a competition between Elijah's God, the God of the Bible, or Baal, this God that King Ahab and Jezebel worshiped, to see which one was the true God with the most power. Well, sure enough, King Ahab and the 450 prophets of Baal met on Mount Carmel the day that Elijah had set aside, and Elijah came as well. And here they decided they were going to get 2 bullocks or 2 bulls, and they were going to put them upon an altar to sacrifice and ask their gods to send fire from heaven to consume the sacrifice. Well, Elijah let King Ahab and the prophets of Baal build their altar first and go first. And so they started early in the morning. They set up their altar, they set up their sacrifice, and they began to call to Baal, Baal, send fire from heaven. Did Baal answer, Emily?
No.
It had no power. It wasn't real. There was nothing that image could do for them. They were worshiping an idol. Elijah began to prepare his sacrifice and his altar. He placed 12 stones to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. He placed wood and the sacrifice on top. And then he prayed to God, and he asked God, God, send fire from heaven so that everyone may know your power. Did God answer, Anna?
Yes.
He did. As Elijah finished praying, moments later, fire came down from heaven and consumed that entire sacrifice. The wood, the stones, the water that had covered the entire sacrifice there was burnt up completely with that fire that God sent from heaven.
Arithmetic.
Here we go. All right.
100.
100 centi. How many cents in a dollar? That's how you remember that.
1 kilo. 1,000. 16.
Pay attention, guys. We're about to call on the guys here, too.
8. 3. 4.
1 hectoliter is?
100 liters.
1 cup is?
8 fluid ounces.
Let me call your attention. But wait a second. I should have some friends coming on to help us. Now, I've got 24 gallons minus 3 quarts, and I want to know how many quarts I have. The first thing I want to do is I want to bring down the measurement that I'm going with. So I'm going with quarts, so I want to bring down my 3 quarts. I want to put a box right here. You like how I did that? For my next trick, I'll gargle with peanut butter. I want to change 24 gallons into quarts. Now I'm changing from a larger to a smaller, so I want to multiply by how many quarts are in a gallon?
4.
4. What is 20? Hang on, he was about to tell me. 4 times 24. Did you have an answer? I heard it over here. I don't know this.
136.
Not 136, just 96. 96. Whoo, that would have got us big. 96, okay? So I've got 96 quarts. minus 3 quarts. 93 quarts is absolutely correct.
Language.
Of an imperative sentence and an interrogative sentence. Now I have these definitions up on the board and they'll give you hints even when the screen isn't down. But I want to draw your attention to the screen. Obviously it says that the subject is always you and here is the interrogative sentence, but let's look at the screen instead. So the screen says we have undercover subjects. So we need to locate the out of ordinary subjects, those undercover subjects. And first let's talk about that imperative sentence as we've seen up on our board. And that says the imperative sentence, the subject is always you. Always. It may be whatever, a really long imperative sentence, it may be a short imperative sentence, it doesn't matter. If it is an imperative sentence and it's giving a command, then the subject is always you. You know, you don't even need to read the sentence then. If you know it's an imperative sentence, you automatically know that the subject is you. Realize, though, you have to be careful that this subject is often or is always invisible. Watch out for that car. Well, where's the subject in that? It's an imperative sentence. We know it's you because that's what the clue tells us. But it's invisible. That subject is what we call an understood you. One more thing that we need to realize when it comes to an imperative sentence, another clue, another hint that we can know to be able to not be tricked by this disguised subject, is the fact that you should always ask or look at the command and ask who should. Who should watch out for that car? Who should put their desk or put their book in their desk? Well, the answer is you. And so that will be our hints when it comes to imperative sentence.
History.
Welcome to history, students watching. Let's take a look at these states. Tell me the name of the state that I point to. Madison. Good. Arthur. You. Deb. Good. Students watching. And Anna. Excellent. Smile when you remember the answer to the question that I asked. What do we call open free land where few people have settled? Students watching. And Josh. Asa?
Frontierland.
Frontierland is correct. Tell me the tribe of Indians that captured Daniel Boone. Arthur? Shawnee is correct. Before we begin reading, let's take a look at some words to watch for on the sideboard. Read the first word for us, Jimmy.
Military.
Yes, military. Now read this next phrase for us. The P is silent. Jacob. Yes, Corps of Discovery. And the next one, Morgan. Yes, Carson. Yes, this is the trip that Lewis and Clark are going to take.
Spelling.
Families. Families. F-A-M-I-L-I-E-S. Families. We pray for our missionaries and their families. Countries. Countries. C-O-U-N-T-R-I-E-S. Countries. There are many countries and many languages in the world. Hobbies. Hobbies. H-O-B-B-I-E-S. Hobbies. Having hobbies is interesting and fun. Cities. Cities. C-I-T-I-E-S. Cities.
Science.
But I think this is one of my favorite things that we'll be talking about. Have you ever wanted to go back in time? I know I have, just to see how something was or maybe to see how people dressed. But there's a way that we can somewhat go back in time to see different animals and see different plants, and that is through a way that dead animals and plants are preserved that are called fossils. Fossils are the remains of dead animals and plants. Now, many times animals and plants, they die and they just decay, and their bones might be left over. But every once in a while, what happens is an animal or a plant is immediately covered when it dies. Covered so quickly with such pressure and many times with force that the animal doesn't really have a chance to decay, but it ends up turning into what we call a fossil. I have a little example with me of a fossil you'll see right here. This is a replica of a real fossil. This one is not real, but it's a replica of a real one. And what happens is many animals that were back maybe in Bible times, if you dig in the earth, sometimes you can find a fossil of a squirrel, or you could find a fossil of a dinosaur, animals that might not roam the earth anymore. They're the dead remains of dead plants and animals. Now, there's many different ways that fossils are formed.
Did you guys have fun today? Time to go home. Pack your backpack. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
오늘은 클레어와 에릭이 한국에서 미국 명문 사립학교를 다니는 것에 대해 얘기를 나누어 보려 해요. 클레어, 한국에서 미국에 있는 학교를 다닐 수가 있다는데 진짜 그런가요?
Yes, but you know you can't go to school every day in US when you live in Korea. You can study what American students study in American school while you live in Korea.
그래요? 한국에 살기 때문에 미국에 있는 학교를 매일 다닐 수는 없지만 미국 학생들이 배우는 교과 과정을 한국에서 배울 수가 있다고요?
Yes, definitely.
그러면 그 교과 과정 이름이 뭔가요?
It's Abeka Academy.
이름이 아베카군요. 그러면 그 프로그램에 대해 설명을 좀 해줄 수 있어요?
Yes, Abeka is a homeschool program. It provides a homeschool family educational materials such as videos and books. Abeka has 50 years of history since it started in 1972.
그렇군요. 아베카는 홈스쿨을 하는 가정에 홈스쿨에 필요한 교육 자료를 제공해주는 홈스쿨 학교이며 1972년부터 시작한 이래 50년의 역사가 있군요.
Yes, also in 2020, 250,000 students use this Abeka program worldwide. It is a pretty popular program.
2020년에 미국과 세계에 살고 있는 25만 명의 학생들이 아베카 프로그램으로 교육을 받았군요. 정말 유명한 프로그램이네요. 그런데 한국에서 이 아베카 프로그램을 어떻게 이용하나요?
You can study online. All of the lesson has all of the subjects online. If you don't have access to online, Abeka has a DVD, which are the same videos online.
인터넷으로 아베카 프로그램을 공부할 수가 있군요. 또한 인터넷을 사용할 수 없는 지역에 살고 있다면 아베카가 DVD로 된 교재를 제공해 주는군요. 그런데 인터넷으로 공부를 하면 지루하지 않나요? 인터넷으로 공부하면 비디오만 보는 것이니까 지루하고 재미없을 것 같은데요.
Yes, besides books and the activities, we have homework and tests to do. It is not just watching lectures, but a variety of activities.
그렇군요. 아베카 프로그램은 학교 교실 수업 형태로 녹화된 비디오 자료이며 선생님께서 수업 중 계속 질문을 하시니 학생들은 대답을 해야 해서 인터넷 수업이라도 지루하지가 않군요. 더구나 책에 있는 문제도 풀어야 하고 숙제도 해야 하고 시험도 봐야 해서 정말 여느 학교와 다를 바가 없네요. 그러면 무슨 과목을 공부하나요?
We study language, math, science, history, spelling, reading, and writing, and also Bible. My favorite class is math, because it's so fun.
영어, 수학, 과학, 역사, 스펠링, 읽기, 작문, 그리고 성경 과목도 있네요. 에릭은 무슨 과목을 제일 좋아하나요?
I love science because I can learn so many interesting things in the world.
그럼 마지막으로 아베카는 수업료가 얼마나 하나요?
That I don't know. You should know, Mom.
미국 명문 사립학교에서 사용하는 교육 교재이고 한국에서 한국 학생도 공부할 수 있는 이 아베카 프로그램 수업료가 궁금하신 분은 화면 아래 링크를 눌러 확인하세요. Thank you for watching. See you